see as the trends, and if you say cloud, I'm going to kick you off the panel, because I think we all know that cloud is a trend that we adopt. It's there, it's part of our lives. What else do you see that is driving our industry?
I think one of the major differences that we have in Asia, which means that the carrier business is likely to evolve in a slightly different way here, is that mobile operators are a very big part of voice revenues in the market per se, and they're very big in terms of termination. Unlike developed markets where you've got a lot of fixed and so on, so there is an inbuilt interest, and because emerging markets tend to have more in than out, these tend to be substantial revenues. Therefore, there is an interest for these players to remain in this business. The second major difference is that the mobile operators are themselves potentially the largest ISPs in their own markets, because it's all about mobile broadband and so on. So again, linked to that is they're getting engaged in the international carrier business and so on. Now, given that background, that these carriers, these mobile operators have a large interest in participating in the carrier business. One, because they would like to somehow show extra revenues, because there is always pressure for this. And at the same time, there is an ongoing need to reduce cost. There's a battle on whether an outsourcing process, and this extends across everything, whether we talk about cloud or data center infrastructure services, IP transit services, whatever we talk about, I think there is going to be more friction or a different cooperation model. Scale is critical, without a doubt. And I think what we will see in Asia, hopefully, is the emergence of a much more cooperative business model than we've seen in some of the developed markets, where it's very, very outsourced based. You either do it or you don't. I think here there is going to be ways in which people would like to stay participative, realizing that it's a scale business, and I think finding that mechanism, we can share some ideas later, I think is going to be a big trend.
So, for me as an observer of the mobile industry and obviously selling to mobile carriers, it would seem to me that if I look at our European business, the Europe business is dominated by 2 or 3 very large sort of super mobile operators. In Asia, that is not the case. There are country-specific mobile operators. Do you think that is a reflection of the fact that Asian operators just play nice together and actually partner well, or do you think it's that we're just waiting for that level of consolidation?
I think we are waiting for that level of consolidation, but we've been waiting for a very long time. And as a result, valuations are just not acceptable to people to acquire. So we will end up in a situation where we're never going to have these superpower operators, or at least not for the foreseeable future. We can paint a picture 10 years and you can believe it or not, because it's anybody's guess. I think for the immediate future, the appetite to create very big regional operators is not going very much beyond what we already have. So we've got some very big countries with large operators. That's one type of, we've got a couple of reasonable sized regional operators, and we've got a lot of small operators scattered around. I think the small operators will more or less engage in a fairly standard way. It's the other two which I think are going to be a bit different.
So I guess we see a lot of these alliances, consortia, I look at Bridge Alliance, Connexus, the Axiata Group, these sort of guys, they're all cooperative, I guess would be the right way to describe them, creating closed user groups. You see that as probably the way it's going to be for the next few years?
I think so. I think they may look for people to enable those services. So they may not decide to do. At the moment, it's very much do it yourself. Yeah. There is a lot of that, and I think a lot of that is going to change, because there are elements which can be done much better with experts or with people who've got the scale. I think that will change.
Okay.
But I think they would want a participative role in that change.